Hey there, I'm going to give you 6 easy tips, strong tips, valuable tips that I wish that I knew about finances when I was in my early 20s. When I was in that 18 to 27 range, it's so crucial how you make financial decisions. First off, before we get started, thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this type of information in your life, please subscribe to my channel, let other people know about it. Give me some comments, give me some feedbacks, and let me know about future subjects that you might want me to cover. Okay, let's dive into 6 practical tips you need to know about finances at an early age. Number 1, whenever you can and whenever it's feasible, get yourself a credit card. You have to start that credit. You've got to build a credit score. You've got to start that responsibility where you've got that credit score building for you. So once you get a bank account, once you get your money going in there from your work, your vocation, whatever it is that you're doing, you got that checking account. Now get a credit card along with that. The credit card, do your purchases like gas, maybe groceries, things like that. Keep it low as you can, but also keep it active. And the biggest thing, this is humongous. When you get a credit card, this is a no-brainer, but please do this. You have to pay the balance at the end of the month. So whenever your bill is due, pay it 3 to 5 days before the due date and pay your bill. Pay the entire bill. Do not pay a portion of the bill. Pay the entire bill. And when you can, pay $5 more than your bill. Because if you pay a little early and pay a little more and always stay in that advance, it's only going to help your credit score. And credit scores are huge for whatever you want to do in life, like rent an apartment, buy a car, buy a house, get a mortgage. Whatever it is that you want to do like that with bigger decisions, you have to have built a credit score. So go ahead and start on that. Do not ever let a balance roll over to the following month. It's only going to hurt you. You're better off not to even have a credit card if that's what you're going to do. Number 2, always buy over lease. So if you're ever in a situation where you can buy it or lease it, always buy it. If you can't buy it, you can't afford it, you don't need it. Leasing things is a disaster. It's a never-ending tunnel. You're just paying over and over again for the use of that, and it's not going to get you anywhere. Whereas if you're buying it and you're making those payments, it's going back into your pocket because you're creating that asset. Whatever it is that you're buying, whether it be a car or something like that, or an appliance for your house or your apartment, if you're buying that and you're making those monthly payments, you're putting it right back in your pocket because that's yours. When you have that item paid for, then you can sell it or do whatever you want to with it and maybe get all of your money or even more back depending on what it is that you bought. So always choose to buy over leasing. Number 3, always choose to own over renting. You don't want to rent unless you have to. Now, there's situations in your life where you just need to rent, especially apartments, especially at that young age. You're going to rent. But when you really look at the situation and see how much rent is these days, a mortgage is really not a lot more. It's probably equal or sometimes less in some cases. So as long as you've got that credit built up, as long as you got a little bit of money in the bank with savings, you're going to be better off owning something than renting always, because renting does nothing more than make somebody else rich, and it gets rid of your money and you're not building assets into your financial well-being. So make sure you choose to own over rent whenever you can. Try to make that possible. And if you can't, maybe you shouldn't have it in the first place. So always use that discretion. Don't let desires get over needs. You only want to handle what you need. Now, if you've got expendable income, you've got money that you can get your hands on and it's not going to hurt you otherwise, okay, great. Honor a few desires. But always stick with needs. If you don't need it, you don't need to get it. Number 4, and this is so huge, whenever you can, get into a 401k. Get into some type of investment fund. If your work offers that, opt to do it right tomorrow. Just go in there and say, Do we have a 401k? I need to get in it right now. Figure out what you can afford from your paycheck and get in it. Get into a good diversified fund where you're there in the market making money. Investments into the stocks at an early age, over time, oh my gosh, compounding interest is such a gold mine. It's better than the lottery. When you get in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and you look back and know that you started that at 20, it is going to be really huge. So make sure you can get into that. If you don't have a 401k at work, go to your bank where you've got your checking account and ask them about a Roth IRA. ROTH, Roth IRA. Then just get one, open it up, and start making maybe $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever you can do. Just get into the market, because in your early 20s, the value and the power of time is with you. And as long as you're in something and you're making little payments into it over time, it can really compound and be huge in your life. Number 5, always have your ears open. Once you're in the market, once you have a 401k or a Roth IRA, you've got that little investment account, or somebody at your bank or a financial advisor or a family member who knows this kind of stuff. Once you have that set up, always keep your ears open for big opportunities. Listen for those companies that are coming up that sound like, wow, this is going to be big one day. I can remember, oh my gosh, I kicked myself so many times. I can remember back in 1987, wow, and I'm telling my age here, back in 1987, a guy came walking into my office with a little box and said, this is going to change the world. And I said, what? What are you talking about? He said, this is going to make a PC look like a Macintosh. It's going to look like an Apple computer. It's going to act that way. It's going to be have a very friendly operating system. And I said, well, what is it? He said, it's Windows. I had never heard that term ever. This was Windows, Microsoft Windows, and it was making a PC look very similar to the way an Apple Macintosh did back in the day. And I was thinking, of course, as a young kid, well, that's stupid. Why wouldn't you just get an Apple? I didn't realize the value of, oh, this could be huge. This could be life-changing. I should put $500 or $1,000 into this stock right now. If I had, I can't even imagine what that stock would be worth right now. If I had just scrounged up $1,000 and bought Microsoft stock back in 1987, I can't even imagine. Then I also heard, there's other terms that come along. Amazon was a bookstore online. When I heard that, I should have bought stock. When I heard that Steve Jobs was taking back over Apple, I should have bought stock right then. So once you're in the market, always have your ears open for big opportunities and don't miss the boat. If you're scared of it, just put $100 in it. If you're not, maybe $500. If you can, scrounge up, beg, borrow, steal, get $1,000 and buy that stock and then watch it. Now, you might have some losers, of course. They're not going to win every time. You don't have a crystal ball, but just be aware of that. Have your radar open and listen for those opportunities and buy those magic stocks when you hear these game-changing companies come onto the scene. And then number 6, this is big and this is a way of life. Man, I wish that I knew this as a young kid. It's the rule of 10-10-80. And no matter where you are, no matter how much you're making, this is a valuable tool to live by. When you get your paycheck, 10% of that should go towards helping other people. Whether it's charity, whether it's church, whether it's a mission, whether it's helping a friend, whether it's anything that 10% can go to, just give it away, because it's going to come back to you tenfold. Give that money away to somebody, a homeless person, a homeless shelter, whatever. And I know that sounds crazy because it's like, that's my money. It's going to come back to you. That's the way life works. Get that 10%, give it away, help somebody with that money. The next 10%, put it immediately into your savings account. Don't touch that. Don't use that as a rainy day fund. It's savings. It's something that should not be touched in case of an extreme emergency, or you can build it way over time. But that second 10% goes into your savings account. The 80% that's net, that's left over, that's what you live on. That's all of your bills, that's all of your life stuff, and that's all of your fun, all of your food, everything like that. That 80% is what you live off of. So 10, 10, 80, that is a huge practice to put into your life, and make sure that you live by that rule. I'm telling you, if you can live by that guideline, that rule, 10, 10, 80, it's going to change your life, and you're going to be so glad that you learned about it at a young age. Okay, that's my tips for the day. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Below, hit the bell if you want future notifications on posts that I make, any videos that I get. And I post out there. You'll get a notification if you hit that bell. Give me a comment below. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Let me know what you think. Let me know how to make this channel better for you. Have a fantastic day.